we've all been there where we're in the gym, we're working extremely hard, but we're just not seeing the results that we want. That was me myself as a player, and I actually spent the last 5 years trying to find the answers of why was I in the gym so much and not seeing the results that I want. And luckily, over that time period, I found the answers. So this video, I want to give you guys 5 ways that you can fix that problem so it never happens to you again, because as a player, that is one of the worst feelings. In this video, we're going to talk about how you guys can fix that. Now, if you guys are one of these people who are working extremely hard, but you're feeling like you're not seeing the results that you guys should be getting, please like the video below so I know that this video is helping you guys. So the number one reason why your training is not working, isn't translating over to a game, is because you guys have no plan. You're working on random and you're working on it in a random order with no real purpose of where does this fit into my game? How does this help me improve? How does this get me to the next level? And this is such an important point. I actually made a whole entire webinar on this. You guys can find that link below on how to just make sure that you guys are productive. And step number 1 is finding a plan. So if this is you guys, you need to take 2 steps back so we can take 10 steps forward by actually figuring, okay, what do I really need to work on? Why do I need to work on this? How should I work on this? How should I progress this? So that way I actually see results and I'm actually working on something that makes a difference. So before you guys even step into the gym, you guys should know exactly what you're working on, why you're working on it, and how it translates to the bigger picture of you as an individual. So that kind of brings me to my next point. Even if you guys have a plan, you know what you're working on, sometimes you just haven't worked on that enough, right? You don't have enough consistency working on what you're trying to work on, as well as you don't have a proper progression to work on what you guys are working on and actually see it translate. So the first part is we always feel like we need something novel, we need something new. So we work on something maybe for the first day, it gets boring, let's try to find something new to work on, right? We always want to find something new and interesting, but oftentimes we need to keep repeating the same thing over and over again. Even if it's a certain drill to work on something you guys are working on, don't get bored with doing the same drill over and over again. Sometimes that's what you guys need, right? We need consistency, working on the same thing over and over and over again. Even though it gets boring, that's what oftentimes works. Now you can change up how you work on that, right? Because we don't want to be doing the same exact thing over and over again. We'll get to that later in the video. But again, spend time working on the same thing day after day after day. Now the next thing is we actually need to progress it, right? We can't just work on something, rep something out on air and not progress it to the next thing so we actually see it translate, right? Because we can't just say, okay, I'm working on my corner threes, I'm shooting, why isn't it translate, right? Because there's no real progression from where you guys are starting to actually get it to translate into game. We'll kind of talk about as this video goes on, but again, get that those 2 major points right there is A, we need to work on this thing for a longer period of time than just one day and expect it to transfer, but we also need a proper progression to actually get this to transfer, right? It's not just we work on it one day and it magically appears in a game. Sometimes it works like that, but oftentimes it doesn't, right? We need step-by-step process of how we're gonna work on this, do it consistently, how are we gonna progress it, boom, then it's gonna actually translate. Now, point number 3 is you guys are doing the same thing over and over and over again. There's no real challenge and you're just expecting, get a lot of reps, it's going to work out. And sad as it is, it doesn't just work that way, right? So we need to find ways to actually constantly challenge ourselves. We need to be in what we call the optimal zone of improvement, where what we're working on, the way we're working on it isn't too hard and it's not too easy. So in that example where we're just shooting corner threes, if you're shooting from the same spot, doing the same exact thing over and over again, it's not gonna translate. How can we make this more difficult? Okay, maybe we add a defender, maybe we add some variability. So you're shooting going from corner to corner, now corner to wing, right? Find a way to challenge yourself with whatever it is that you're doing. Okay, step 1, you do a certain skill, a certain footwork. Boom, it gets easy. Okay, how can I challenge that? Okay, that gets too easy, boom, let's add some challenge. So we constantly need to be pushing that zone of not too hard, not too easy, right? We need to stay in that, and that's how we're gonna eventually see it translate to game. But just doing something over and over again isn't the key to actually mastering a skill, but also getting it to translate. Now, to follow up with that point is we need defense, right? If you guys are practicing something all day on air, it's not gonna translate. We all kind of know that. But kind of getting back to our second point, which is having a healthy progression, having a healthy level of challenge, and that's what's gonna get it to translate, right? So, okay, we do something on air, boom, it gets a little easy, we add some variability. Okay, now let's add some defense. Right? We can't expect to just do something in a setting that looks nothing like a game, right? There's no crowd, there's no pressure, there's no defense. We don't even need to go full speed and expect it to translate, right? We need to slowly work our way up to training an environment that looks closer to a game. So what we can do is, again, add defense. The same thing that you've been working on, work on it with some defense, right? Maybe this is 2, 3, 4 days a week, whatever it is that you guys need to actually get it to translate, that's fine. But just like how you're practicing it on air, let's do the same thing practice it on defense. Again, don't expect it to go from air to in-game. It's just simply not going to happen. There's too wide of a discrepancy between those two for it to work. So again, we need to constantly progress, get to that point, practice it a lot with defense. Again, then it's going to translate because you're practicing in a game-like environment. Simple as that. Now, number 5 is, this one will kind of surprise you, is what you guys are actually doing after your workout. So you're doing all these other 4 steps, but after your workout, you have a high-quality workout, you're going home, you're eating like and you're sleeping like. Oftentimes, we don't actually learn during the workout, but after the workout when we're sleeping. That's when we consolidate a lot of the learning that we had from that day, the skills that we learned from that day. So if we're getting sleep, we're not learning everything that we did throughout the day. So as surprising as it is, sometimes why your stuff isn't translating as quickly as you want, because you're getting sleep, because you're eating like, and it all affects every other part of your game, not just your ability to transfer skills, but obviously your performance as well. So with that said, use these 5 rules, steps, whatever you want to call them, to help you guys see your practice, your training, actually translate over into games. And no, it's not just that you need to go game speed and shoot game shots at game speed, because that's bullshit. It's not going to work like that, right? You need to do more than just that. And those are the 5 steps that I laid out in today's video. Drop a like, drop a comment, and subscribe. We would really appreciate it. So with that said, see you guys in another video soon. Peace.